is on a really fascinating list. I'm excited to see it perform. And let's talk a little bit about Joe.
Yeah, I've got great Joe facts.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Excellent. Start us off.
Okay, so I mean, aside from what he already wrote on his player card, which if you didn't see the player cards, you should probably be following Pro Play Games at on Twitter, right? But he was 12th place at the NA Championships. But more importantly, he is one of the godfathers of what I would call Samethyst.
Oh, no. No. Don't do it.
Other people call it Sapphire, Amethyst, and I don't know any other names that it could possibly be.
Yeah, that's really it, right? that you could smash together to make that.
Right. And then the last Quigley fact I have is he really enjoys the conversion rate of USD to Canadian dollar.
Yes, that's. I do not like the conversion rate, being from America, but Quigley is from Ontario,
Right.
so that totally checks out.
Yep. Place would enter the battlefield, of course.
Plays
up
for Enter the
there.
Battlefield, fantastic team. He's, I asked him before this. I kind of got a feel for his deck, and we're going to see it in action. I'm not going to spoil it too much because it is mean, and we're going to see it be mean here shortly. But I talked to him a little bit about it. It's a color combo that he really likes and was kind of unlocked by a few cards in the last couple sets. One of them being Basil, and one of them being the 3-cost, 1-cost Bell. Favorite card is the Muses because I asked him why, and he said, I just love bouncing stuff.
Yeah, it's so rude.
And when I asked him about what he loves best about Disney Lorcana, he said community, which I love.
Yeah. Joe Quigley, notorious nice guy. Honestly, I cannot believe he likes the Muses. He knocked. His niceness went from a 10 to a 9 in my book. All right, that's a 10% drop. That's a big deal.
You don't find them amusing?
Oh my God! I'm proclaiming that I am the hero in this situation.
That's fair. So Joseph Quigley singing their praises, and you were taking them down a notch. Okay. All right, that's 3 back to back, and let's move on. So Jimmy, I don't know his opponent terribly well. I do think we saw Jimmy yesterday on stream, though. Fantastic player, and Jimmy is going to be piloting a Ruby Amethyst list. It's a list that you love to love or you love to hate. It can take many different forms. We're going to see which one he's playing here. Joe Quigley here on this Emerald Sapphire deck, and this deck takes on several different forms in terms of its end game. The item heavy one is one that we're familiar with from the North America or the World Championship, and that's kind of made a splash recently. But this one a little bit different. We will see some items in it, but its end game plan is different than the one that we're typically used to, and we'll see that highlighted here shortly.
And I believe you played a different deck yesterday, and this Clarabelle again speaking to. Hey, you know what? Items were everywhere yesterday. Clarabelle was an all-star on camera yesterday. This might have been a reason to push him into playing this deck was, you know what? If I can just Clarabelle at a precise time, I might win the game on the spot. Inking the big Clarabelle, indicating to me, I have another.
Absolutely. Clarabelle, one of those cards that, I mean, anytime there's a shift line where the shift target, the lower cost character, gives you some sort of value or does something for you at the same time as being a shift target. We see that with like Pete and Pete Space Pirate. We see that here with the Clarabelle being a fantastic card that gives you a little bit of item removal that you can splash in your deck while serving as that shift target. It's extra good. Speaking of, speaking of scripts, terrible segue, but Joe Quigley kind of on script here, playing that 1-drop and then Sail the Azurite Sea on turn 2, hitting that ramp, which Sapphire decks really have to do. On the other side, Jimmy 1-on-1, 2-on-2, using that Chernobog's Followers to draw a card, and he's going a little bit wide here. And right away, Bell,
having to read it,
but special. Joe having to remind Jimmy what that does. That's a set 1 card. It does allow you to ink an extra card per turn, and it doesn't. This one, I have to remind myself. I don't think you have to show this one to your opponent. It just says.
Do.
Oh, you do have to.
It's worded
very face down. Okay.
It is worded exactly the same as Sail the Azurite Sea.
Fascinating.
Which can be confusing because there are 3 different cards that let you ink additionally, and they all do it in different ways.
Yeah.
So it's perfectly understandable.
So this one basically ink another card per turn.
Yes.
But then also unlocks extra lore if you have 10 or more cards in your inkwell, which this particular color combination loves. That's where it gets you sooner rather than later. So this serving as some ramp here. Joe Quigley, I think, definitely on script. We're going to see him with a ton of resources available,
and not
very,
seeing
very
a
shortly.
brawl from Jimmy.
No,
so
unfortunate
fortunate for Joe, unfortunate for Jimmy.
So Jimmy, though, playing that Peter Pan Shadow Finder.
Right.
Clarabelle will go clean up that Obedient Raven, give another card to Jimmy. Really, the the game plan for Jimmy here is win as fast as possible.
Wow, the perfect hand for Quigley. Honestly,
1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty much emptying his hand there. I think it was empty
Right.
because of the extra ramp.
even
And
banishing
a Raven to get that
yeah.
extra card. Yeah, I'm going to banish your Raven, give you an extra card. That gives me an extra card. And, oh, my goodness, we're going to see this game bend really quickly in Joe Quigley's favor if he draws into the card that he wants here.
Yeah. If I'm Jimmy, I'm thinking,
Just look at that ink
why am I
disparity.
playing fair?
Yeah, right.
Why am I playing fair?
Look at that ink disparity, though.
Right.
I mean,
All the complaints about Ruby Amethyst over the years. I mean, this was kind of peak Ruby Amethyst, and this is 4 ink to 7. Same amount of cards. Your cards are my cards, and my cards are also my cards.
there's a fun way to put it. Jimmy here gonna use that genie. It's gonna have rush because of the Shadow Finder. Gonna come in and banish that Clarabelle. I'm not kind of innocuous on its own, but you know,
think
it is a
maybe-
shift target.
Do you think maybe he's debating on singing Friends versus questing?
Right? That's
Because
what do you do here? I mean, the thing is, in a lot of these decks, I mean, what they want to do, their script is to draw cards. But when your script also benefits your opponent, it feels really bad.
Yep, went ahead and quested. I did see a Friends all the way to the left, so he was debating on it. And
That's-
again, you're just in you're in between a rock and a hard place, and that's not a good place to be.
No, not at all. So Jimmy here, I mean, these Amethyst decks do close games with the instant lore game that we know, that we've known for ages. The Bounce Goat is the big one. Sometimes you run White Roses. So for Jimmy, he just has to get to that 15 or 16 range that'll allow him to close the game out with those cards if the game goes long, but really has to start putting on some lore gain here if he's going to stand a chance.
You know, we all day yesterday, me, you, Katie, laughing about drawing T-pos when you have 8+ ink. With Clarabelle, nothing's funny about that.
No.
You
'Cause
want those.
You're going to draw those cards. Second Clarabelle
Yeah,
comes down
another
to
one
play.
for good
Holy
measure.
cow.
Holy cow, indeed.
There's
And then under the sea.
Going to be sung there by Clarabelle and Belle, sending both those characters under Jimmy's deck.
Wow. Also, is there a card with more flavor than Under the Sea?
But maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I mean, perfectly executed flavor there. My goodness. And then all those cards being used, Joe is going to recharge his hand off that Clarabelle. My goodness. That, able to, the extra ink off that Belle, being able to send an extra card down that you're just
Right.
going to replace at the end of the turn. Like this Clarabelle Belle combo feels particularly mean.
Yeah, Jimmy not having a brawl on his turn 3, this would be, the texture of this game would be completely different. And again, it's not chess, it's trading card games, and this is the fun of it.
So we do have that Be Prepared in hand there, which would feel
Yeah, we're
pretty
two
good. Pretty far away from it is the
two
problem.
turns away. Yeah, that is brutal.
So we will play
Oof.
Friends, draw a couple
Feeding-
cards here.
Feeding the Clarabelles.
But looking for some answers, perhaps looking for a brawl. But really, we just need to keep inking, put some things on board,
yeah.
get closer to that 7, because you're going to need that hard reset here shortly.
He'd even take a Dragonfire at this point.
Anything. Finders Keepers now coming into play. We do have the Clarabelle Insurance, unfortunately. You'd love to Dragonfire 1, but there's
Yeah.
a whole herd out there dancing away.
All right, Quigley, just flush with options. I mean, the whole world is in his hands.
Yeah, it is an ink pool over there.
You know what we need? We need more ink.
Sail the Azurite Sea. I think that's another Bell. That
Right.
would be, you could ink another card per turn there.
Oh, and Mother Knows Best. Mother Knows Best turns into return a character to your hand. I will draw a
I will
card.
draw a card.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is another card in this deck which plays around this whole combo.
Oof.
Oh, you're welcome. This card again pairs particularly well with Clarabelle.
Yeah, banish your card. We'll both draw 2 cards.
You'll shuffle that back into the deck there,
Right.
and
Not literal banish. Thank you, Liam. I appreciate that.
that's totally fine. Jimmy then will draw 2 cards off that. You're welcome, and so will Joe eventually.
Yeah. So the Forbidden Mountain did not invent this deck, but we definitely popularized it after NACC, and people hated us for it. The hate comments just rolled in day after day.
It does when this deck gets
Is
going.
this another
it does
Clarabelle?
feel.
Oh no! Oh,
there it is.
we're
There
not
it is.
drawing any cards, but guess what?
Bend.
You don't have any either. Oh my!
Bend my will, forcing Jimmy to discard his entire hand. It is interesting. I've seen versions of this deck that are very, very similar, which do not run Bend,
Right.
simply because they want to continue that Clarabelle value into the long term.
And you just, I mean, when you outvalue as much as you've seen Joe, do you really need it? Or is it kind of just like, you know what? He was a 10. I brought him to a 9. He's a 7.
Yeah.
Just like Bend to my will. You know, he costs 7. Quigley's a 7 at this point on the evil scale.
Yeah.
Somewhere out there, Baker is laughing.
Yeah, somebody tag Lurkanaville in here in the chat. Get him in here and let him know that this just happened. Particularly villainous thing to do. Joe Quigley now with the entire board and all the cards in hand to Jimmy's none.
And, you know, Jimmy does need to just draw an ink to try to get to be repaired. But unfortunately, that Bell questing for 5, it's not going to be enough.
No, it's too much too late, I think. And that Bend to my will, almost feeling like a win more card at this point. You know, was it needed? I don't know, but it is.
Chat thinks it's needed for
chat
sure.
Thinks
I
it's needed
can't
for sure.
see chat. I'm sure chat is like, oh yeah, we needed
Just
that.
shut the door on the game. And I mean, it's tough for me to say, you know, well fought battle on each side. I mean, Jimmy did nothing wrong, hitting everything on curve, but the one thing he was missing was the brawl, as you pointed out, which let that combo of Bell and Clarabelle just go off. And then Joe, I think if it's not his ideal draw, it's pretty darn close to his ideal draw. And just showcasing what this deck can do. The Bell-Clarabelle combo just really shining there in that match.
By the way, shout out Lily. What about Cowabell?
What about Cowabell?
Yeah, I don't know if I was with you or Katie yesterday, but Lily, Dan's daughter, we have this thing where we sing the entire Encanto, you know, What About Clarabelle, except it's What About Cowabell?
Very nice.
And yeah, every time I see her, that's the first thing she says to me. Always look forward to it. So
That's
shout out
so
to
fun.
Lily. Shout out to Nana, TFM Nana. Her favorite card, Big Sisu.
Big Sisu.
She says, I don't know how to play the game, but when Ed plays that, he wins. Yeah, her favorite player, Ed Chu.
Ed Chu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again,
I mean, if you're going to have a favorite player, you know, the world runner-up and the North American Continental Champion is a pretty good one to
absolutely
to follow. So, fantastic matchup here, though. Like this is exactly what we're going to see all day. Is just, you know, the best players in the game, some of the best players in the game, doing you know, Lorcana things, and Joe there just showcasing the power of this Emerald Sapphire color combination right now. A lot of fun cards in these color combos. There's several players who really tried to unlock it last set. Shout out to Mo Shamblin, who took this into every tournament that set, saying, I believe in this color combo. I want to show what it can do. He was playing an Ink Geyser variant, though, him and Brandon B Squared, and they did some mean things with it. You can actually splash that card into this particular combo as well.
Works great with Clarabelle.
Yeah, it works great with Clarabelle. Like, send everything back. Then Bend to my will. There's all sorts of mean things.
Right.
But Joe Quigley here, you know, showing a particular version of this. That, you know, I don't know if this is like a tier 0 deck for sure, but I think this is one that will continue to hang out in the tournament scene, and we will see a few players bring it in each time. And because people aren't necessarily preparing for it, it can really shine in some of these tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, part of winning any game tournament is getting a little lucky, and one of the ways that you can get a little lucky is in your pairings. If he plays against Amber Steel all day, he's probably going to have a tough time. But he is saying, you know what? I think I figured out what most people are going to be playing. I think that I figured out something that can attack that in a good way for him, and he's betting on it, which is great to see. You know, and unfortunately, Jimmy is trying to play a fair game.
He's actually playing Lorcana. And one of the things in this color pair too, especially with Bend to My Will, is you have outlets, you have ways to come back and counter both the aggro strategy, if you can really quickly ramp into an Under the Sea, or the more control-heavy strategy where Bend to My Will can shut down some of these decks like Ruby Sapphire, which are looking to accumulate certain endgame cards in their hand and just draw cards with the workshops, etc. So either way, you have an avenue to victory. One of them is a little more narrow than others. I think ramping to the Under the Sea is a little more tricky, but either way, you stand a chance against the preponderance of the
Yeah,
meta.
that's actually a great point. Under the Sea was not necessarily played in this deck in the past because of the prevalence of Hiram. You were expecting much more Sapphire matchups, so you couldn't justify the uninkable 8-cost card. However, Joe, assessing the room yesterday, decided I'm bending and I'm under the sea.
On here, Jimmy off to the races. Very similar to last game. We do see the 1-on-1, 2-on-2. Not electing to leverage the Chernobog's followers here.
I think that's smart.
Yes, I think this is a. Oh no, we are gonna pull it
mind.
back. Totally fine either way. Like we don't know what his hand is, but definitely Jimmy. I think realizing I need to race. I need to go fast. I need to gather as much lore as possible so that when my board is wiped by that Under the Sea, or Joe starts to crush my hand, I'm top decking for goats and I have an out that way. Joe, with his turn 1 play from last game, we do have that Clarabelle right away. We'll see if we hit the ramp on 2. It's a very different game if we miss it. And we'll see.
Yeah, he looks like he's contemplating hard. So I would think maybe he missed it. He only kept 1 card in his altar.
Oh, and it is the pass. So we're missing that turn 2 ramp. Sapphire decks want it. They need it. So a little bit on the back foot here, especially being on the draw. Pirate's Life. And we have the early library.
Okay,
that is very good.
Whenever I am playing these Sapphire X decks, one of the worst things Melissa does to me is play a location. I just, I throw my deck at her, for anyone that doesn't know out there. Yeah, because you have all the answers to everything, and then sometimes it can just be very frustrating to get either 8 strength at once, or, well, at least in this case, Joe Quigley does have the "you're welcome."
That is true. And that is something, and perhaps the answer to this, because this deck is not built to deal with high willpower things. It's going to deal with lower strength characters, and it has removal that targets characters. So that library likely to stick around for a while, and I really like it in this matchup on curve because a lot of your early characters, like the Chernobog's followers, like the Diablo, are not going to stick around for terribly long. You're going to utilize them for card draw anyway, and so sliding them over to the library and getting an extra card out of them is particularly good.
Okay, so hardcasting a Bell, which is setting up to potentially one-shot the library if he has the Shift Clarabelle Light on her hooves.
Yeah, it is. We talked about there's not a lot of high-strength characters, not a lot of challenging that's going to go on here, but Bell is a way to get, some extra damage. So
yeah,
I think perhaps the library changed Joe's entire turn 3 play, trying to get some strength on the board there.
I will say, though, the library, excellent bait to get that Clarabelle exerted, right? So you're going to gain a couple lore, you're going to draw a lot of cards, and then if Joe does decide, okay, I'm going to have to leave my Clarabelle, in a vulnerable state, well, that's when Maui Here to All comes down.
And Joe, utilizing that library there, banishing the Chernobog's followers upon the quest to draw 2 cards. We do have a Fox, which may be helpful here if those characters do go sideways. We also have the Be Prepared in hand. So if we can get to 7 ink, that becomes an option. It becomes a whole other game. Let's see.
Joe would love a Bell.
This. We don't have the shift, but Grandma Tala gets some good strength on the board. It also allows us to look for an answer here.
Grandma Tala was the all-star yesterday.
She
sang, she challenged, she had resist, she did everything yesterday.
There was that one game that Tala did so much work. So we are going to put 3 on the library with the Bell.
Right.
I think you need to. Back over to Jimmy here. Jimmy's going to get 1 lore off that library, keep that ticking higher.
And without much pressure from Joe, if I had a brawl here, I'd just go ahead and do it on the Clarabelle. Hasn't ramped much. Joe over here playing a fair game. Jimmy thinking, how's it feel?
Yeah, right. How's it feel to play like the rest of us?
Yeah.
Jimmy here thinking about his options. There's a couple things we could do.
We could draw 2 cards.
We will draw 2 cards, challenging into choosing the card draw there. We know that library is likely to go away next turn. Choosing the card draw there over the quest. I think we drew into a shark too. Let's see. So lots of high-end options here once we get to 6-7 ink. Thinking about inking the Fox.
Does have a brawl.
do have the Brawl. Jimmy just thinking this through, trying to remember the play lines. This is not a deck he's probably played against terribly much. Definitely tested against it, I'm sure. But here we have
Okay,
Iago,
Iago.
Giant Spectral Parrot coming into play.
Iago very good against Joe's deck because think about all the things that deal with Iago. They actually put Iago somewhere else before Iago's Vanish effect would take place. So basically just a 4-cost 4/6 evasive with no downside.
And then Grandma Tala doing what Grandma Tala loves to do,
Yep.
singing How Far I'll Go the turn after she's played.
She's got the vocal cords for it.
Probably
But-
taught Moana that song, honestly. I'm guessing.
Right.
So we'll see if we have a way to deal with the library this turn. Joe digging for...
Yeah, opting for the How
Options.
Far I'll Go instead of challenging the library.
I wonder if we have the shift. We do have 5 exerted here. It is the
Yep.
shift, Clarabelle. Okay, so we did have the option the whole time. Clarabelle, I think...
Oh,
Nope,
and
we're
singing.
gonna, you're welcome, the Giant Spectral Parrot,
Yep,
which,
so,
to your point out, it's going to go into the deck. It's
Right.
before triggering the Vanish ability.
yeah, a lot of question about that when the set first came out from people who played other card games. And as always, I'd like to remind everyone, read the card, explain the card.
That card resolving before
Yes.
anything happens. So now no characters in the library. We will put another 3 on it. It'll get Jimmy another lore, but nothing there.
And notably 2 ink away from Be Prepared for Jimmy. So if Joe is able, Joe did ramp, right? So even though he's on the play, he's also going to be hitting 7 around the same time, which obviously 7 is a very important number for Bend to My Will.
Mm-hmm. So drawing several cards there, quite a few cards there off the Clarabelle.
Yeah, that library has now been both players' libraries. All right, Joe's in there. He's studying.
Joe, Jimmy's reading a book. Joe walks in. Hey, you mind if I take a book off the shelf here?
I'll check these
Thanks,
out too.
don't worry. Here's my library card. I'll keep it down. Library, a gift for Joe as well as a gift for Belle.
Well, you know, Clarabelle, she could be the belle of the ball. She's light on her hooves.
That's fair. A gift for a gift for Clarabelle.
Right.
Oh, you got it. Yep. All right. Pun of the day. I'm gonna have to work a while to take down that one.
Someone reached out to me yesterday. Clarabelle apparently has 5 printed on her 5 times. Yesterday, I don't know if I was with you or Katie, but there was a card that 7 printed on it 7 times. So, chat, if that is not correct,
1, 2, 3. I see the
it's
card
from
number.
set 5.
1, 2, 3, 4. This is clearly what we should be talking about during gameplay, but I
Exactly.
love it. Right?
I was going to say,
like,
if
"What are you
that
doing?"
is
And
if
we're
that is
counting
not
stuff.
correct, you're going to have to hit up actual no, I'm not.
Oh,
And you're going to have to
Mr.
tell
Kendall
him.
Burdett. All right, so here we go. We do have Ursula, I believe that's Sea Witch, down there from set 3 coming down. Now, Sea Witch, a card I actually didn't see play for a long time, sprinkled in now because it's excellent challenger. It also serves as a shift target for these high-end Sea Witch Queens, which people have started running
Right.
again.
It's also very good against Rhino.
Mm-hmm.
It gets you exactly where you need to be when you have, say, a crab. Of course, the Merlin crab, not the crab that people are used to playing in Sapphire.
So many crabs. So then you're welcome being played there. Send that. Did it send the library back?
And, yep, Bend to
Bend
My
to
Will.
my
Yep,
will. Send it all to your
exactly-
hand.
Exactly 1 ink before. Even insult to injury. I want to see what I discarded. All right.
Yeah.
What was
Let
he
me-
at? A 7? He's down to a 6. He's very evil.
Yeah. The hero meter just ticking down and down and down. Clarabelle now is singing How Far I'll Go.
Right.
And you pointing out like the ink total, it's so frustrating because the way back in is that Be Prepared. And top decking for a Be Prepared feels bad enough, but when you have to top deck for the ink to play the Be Prepared, now that'll help. That'll help. Great top deck.
Yeah.
So now we have, we will play the crab, which will,
Oh,
great top
nice,
deck.
yes.
The crab into the Ursula
Exactly
with the
what he
challenger,
needed.
exactly what you needed. Take down the Clarabelle, shut that down. Now, choosing not to ink
Right.
the Elsa, you could have
Right.
to give you that insurance in case Joe decides to do a weird extra bend to my will.
Right. I was going to say, you're banking, you know what? Are they going to bend 1 card?
They-
Whereas they could play another Clarabelle, and you already have the insurance policy in hand.
That is true. It is interesting. Like, I think that's the right call. It is interesting. There is a line of play though where Joe says, "Hey, the way back in is be prepared." So I'm just gonna crush that one card. But no, holding on to that, I think that's a great card to hang on to, especially if you can do some shenanigans with the Merlin Crab.
Oh, and we all love shenanigans.
Shenanigans. What's that restaurant?
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
Exactly.
All right.
If you're our age, you know.
You know. Strike a good match being played there. I think that's draw 2, discard 1.
Yes, and it is a song important for if he does find his favorite card, the Muses. He may go down to a 5 on the evil meter by the end of this.
Just ticking down to 0.
Yeah. Funny enough, flavor text, please bring honor to us. There is no honor in Bend to My Will. There is, in fact, winning the game, though. So I guess that's something.
Strike a good match again, discarding a Mother Knows Best, just filtering through here. It looks like we are going to go questing.
Yeah.
That does open up a really interesting challenge with the Elsa, because now the crab can do some banish shenanigans, and I think we'll be able to remove both of these if that is the line.
Also, Mother Knows Best was a great card to discard because, well, what could Jimmy have possibly drawn? He has to guess it's an uninkable card, maybe a Hades, maybe a Be Prepared. So you don't really want to return a crab that it can then just go straight into the ink pile.
Let's see. We do have that Elsa. I didn't see the top deck.
Jimmy's shaking his head.
Oh, it's another crab. Okay.
Oh, okay. Quite drab. Yeah, it's hard to give up your Clarabelle insurance. But
So there it is. The Elsa does come down. We'll exert that other Grandma Tala. Crab, I think, here will go into that Tala. That'll give Challenger to Elsa. Elsa then can challenge with her rush ability into the bell.
right. I would probably pick the Grandma Tala because it is Singer 4.
It is Singer 4. I was going to say. Now, Bell is a... Well, no, yeah.
I think
Grandma Tala is
Jimmy's just at the point of like, really? You have 30 cards in your hand?
Yeah.
Ugh, and we've all been there.
Yep. Just knocking things out.
Looking at what could have been in this discard pile.
1, 2, 3. So we have 6 in the inkwell, 1 card in hand. Better place to be, but Joe with just so much. There's the Muses.
Yep.
That is Joe's favorite card.
He's a
in
5.
Lorcana.
Yeah.
And we'll see if he.
Lady Tremaine.
Lady Tremaine, her ability, do it again.
Lady Tremaine plus Muses is a soft lock.
Her ability allows you to pull an action back from the discard pile.
Right.
And now that he pulls back how far I'll go, that Singer on the board looming large here, because Grandma Tella will sing that how far I'll go that just came back from the discard pile. So Joe asking himself, how far can I go through my deck at this point? Taking a look at another 2 cards, we'll pull 1, send 1 to the inkwell. That will trigger the Muses.
And return the Lady.
Return the Lady back to hand, and it's that combo that you pointed out as soon as she was played.
Yeah.
Lady Tremaine saying, "I will do it again and again and again." At this point, a wicked stepmother, indeed.
That is how you deal with some of the more aggressive draws from decks. Is you know what? I'll under the sea, and I think I'll under the sea, and then I'll under the sea.
So now we get the Obedient Raven in play. We have another crab in hand, so that trade with the Grandma Tala is on the table. It looks like we'll quest instead, go up to 7, and back over to Joe with his plethora of options.
Yeah, if you take out the Grandma Tala here, you're letting Joe know. You know what? You can just turn the Muses sideways, and there's no punish for it. So,
and
smart
wicked
to
stepmother
quest.
again saying, "Do it again," taking back a bend to my will. Interesting. Showing it to Jimmy. I'm taking it back to my hand. I have it here. It's available.
And there's the under the sea.
Under the sea, singing together again. That Grandma Tala getting in on the singing action here.
Yeah.
For that full 8, sending Jimmy's characters to the bottom of his
we
deck
are
there.
again on a soft lock for any characters that have 2 strength or less.
And it is a McDuck Manor, a card we didn't see before.
Right. I didn't know he was into real estate.
And here it
as
is,
well.
kind of a foul building there to see at this point in the game. Scrooge McDuck's Manor coming in, 2 willpower. That will start a clock here because Jimmy's going to be hard-pressed to establish much of a board presence now with a lot of the cards that Joe has available.
Right. Opting to just churn through his deck a little more, play the broom, immediately use it, knowing that, A, it could be returned with Muses, or it could be under his deck with Under the Sea.
Or you're welcome. There's just so many things at this
Right.
point. If you are going to deal with that mana, Crab's not a terrible card to have on the board. You can pair it with a Fox or something
Right.
else to, again, do some shenanigans. A Crab into the mana plus Fox bounce is a way to deal with that. So not a terrible card to have on board. But Lady Tremaine, Wicked Stepmother
Yeah.
saying, do it a third time. Coming down, we'll grab the You're Welcome.
Which, again, the Grandma Tala can sing. This Grandma Tala, again, best vocal cords in the game.
She's been singing. All sorts of different songs. Let's see. It looks like she's going to sing again. She will sing Mother Knows Best, a little bit more of an evil song compared to what she's been singing before, but that'll bounce that crab back to hand. And
as well as the Wicked
Muse
Stepmother.
is bouncing Wicked Stepmother back to hand. This is just this combo deck here. We saw the Belle Clarabelle combo last game do work, and now a Cricky coming down.
Okay. He's prepared for everything.
Yep.
Every
Cricky-
situation. This is the MacGyver Disney Lorcana deck.
Yeah. It has all the tools. Cricky, a card which can swing board states in the mid game here, giving +3 strength to all of your characters when it comes into play. But at this point in the game, really being used as a finisher with his 3 Lord there.
Right.
Cricky is a lucky cricket.
Everyone does feel better when knowing he's around. So
That is true. That is true. But probably bugging Jimmy on that side of the board there. Jimmy playing a shark, usually a finisher for Jimmy at this point, something he's hoping to just, I don't know, probably a little bit of board pressure.
probably get back the Be Prepared.
Get back to Be Prepared, but
Instead, he gets back the shark.
Mother knows best here. Grandmother knows best, sending Grandma Tala again, sending a card back,
yeah.
and then bend to my will. That shark will go back. It'll be discarded. And once again, Jimmy with no cards in hand, nothing on board in full top deck mode. And
I can't hear Jimmy, but I can hear everything he's thinking, and I think Quigley's a 4 on that on
villain scale.
on that villain scale.
Let's see if we can get to 0 before the end game here.
You don't even have anything I could shuffle into your deck. I guess I'll just draw 2 cards.
Yep, you're welcome.
Wow. What can he say?
Popsicle going in here, shuffling in. This card says, shuffle a card into a player's deck and draw 2 cards. You can use it on your opponent's cards. You can also use it on your cards. Jimmy giving a quick shuffle there, and we're drawing an Into the Azurite Sea and something else. Probably another evil card.
Tipo
Tipo into the Inkwell and Azurite Sea to draw a card, ink a card. We will pass on the ink, it looks like, and back over to Jimmy.
Right. And Quigley did, in fact, I believe, quest with things before drawing cards, so he wasn't able to play the songs that he drew. It's a pro tip for those out there.
Jimmy drawing a Brawl into the Inkwell.
No targets.
No targets. So we'll get that Be Prepared. No, we're at 8 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we did. So a little bit of questing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll go up to 18. That'll finish the game with the McDuck Manor activation on the return.
Quigley can't even control how much ink he has. Basically 30 of it down there.
Mother,
And
do it
yeah,
a 4th time.
Let's Stepmother again.
We'll bring back Bend to My Will just because. Did that drop it down another? Strike a good match. We'll look at 2, discard 1. Another Bend to My Will being drawn there, so now there's 2 in hand. Joe discarding one of them, kind of indicating to Jimmy what he drew there. And then it looks like pass over to Jimmy. We'll flip the Elsa, fist bump. I'd love to see Jimmy. Thanks to Jimmy for playing this out.
Honestly, yeah.
Because there's a lot of players who would have thrown their deck at some point there.
Yep, I would have. I would have just saw Melissa right across from me, and can't control myself. I got to throw a deck at her.
Right. So kudos to Jimmy. Good sport there, playing that out. Looking for some outs, but Joe piloting that deck expertly. One thing I will say, I've talked to a lot of players who play this color combination. I've seen a lot of games. This color combination is very difficult to pilot.
Absolutely. Yeah, one mistake and it could just all fall apart. Again, just like the item version that me and Katie went over, where it's like these cards together form an amazing combo, and it's infinitely better than the sum of their parts. These cards apart from each other, you're like, what kind of super sealed did you open?
Yeah, right.
Because this was just all the chaff.
What format are we playing here?
Right.
But it's really fun too. I'm really glad that that in both games we got to see kind of a different combo and a different finish for Joe. In game one, we got to see that Bell Clarabelle combo really shine. The bend to my will that he played in game one, to be honest, in my mind, wasn't even necessary.
Oh, certainly not.
Yeah, he could have just kept bouncing things, getting value off the Clarabelle, controlling the board. Bend to my will being really a win more card in that game, and Joe just drawing, I think, the preponderance of his deck off the strength of that Clarabelle. And then in game two, it was really, really fun to see that Muse's Lady Tremaine combo. Lady
Yeah.
Tremaine, another set one card that really didn't see much play at all
No.
for the last 2 years, getting to shine a little bit here before she's perhaps rotated out upon Fable being printed. And that Muse's Lady Tremaine combo pulling actions back, back and forth was really, really fun to watch. So
Yes.
Joe just showcasing a couple of the different combos that can make this deck go and be really mean. Again, great play on the other side too. That Ruby Amethyst deck, I mean, we know what it's trying to do, but both games,
The gentleman's deck.
the gentleman's
And
deck
a gentlewoman's deck.
and a gentlewoman's deck.
So
I mean, great player over there too, but just not able to get things going before, I mean, Joe's deck really just took over.
I should also mention, obviously, we're going to have an interview soon. I should also mention Joe defending his boosties. He was one of the featured players. He is always trying to claim those boosties for himself. And, I said it with Sky. I'm going to say it with Joe. He's going to get at least close to a booster box by the end of this if he plays that well all day.